Good day to everyone. This is a video in which I want to explain some important information with regard to choices for the diploma program at SOS HGIC. First of all, let's have a quick look at the structure of the IB diploma as a whole. While we're interested in the subjects where there are choices, there are also elements of the diploma program which all students have to follow. So I'll quickly go through those before we move on to talking about individual choices. First of all, we have the diploma core, which is composed of the CAS component, Creativity Activity Service, and then there's the extended essay, the research project, and then there's the course in Theory of Knowledge, TOK, about the nature of knowledge. As well as that, we have the learner profile in the center of the diagram with the 10 attributes which all of us are trying to establish in our daily lives and interactions with each other. Then we have the ATL skills with which you will be familiar from your middle years program. That's the approaches to teaching and learning. Be very familiar with that, I'm sure, over the last 2 years. As you will also with the idea of concept-based learning. Concepts are very important in the DP courses as well. Contexts, real-life contexts, and of course the content of the courses as well. And finally, around the outside of the diagram, there's also the international mindedness. This is, after all, the International Baccalaureate. And so we have to think about what we mean by adopting an international minded approach to our studies and to our lives. These are all things which are common to everybody's participation in the diploma program. So let's move on to the subject choices then, which are arranged into 6 groups. Group 1 is language and literature, 2 is language acquisition, 3 is individuals and societies, 4 is the sciences, 5 is mathematics, and 6 is the arts. Again, you will see very close match with the groupings that we find in the middle years program as well. Going through these groups one at a time, we have 2 major types of courses in group 1, the language and literature group. We have courses in literature, which are closer to looking at standard texts and books, novels, and so on, looking at different genres within the literature program. And then there's also the language and literature course, which looks at a wider range of different types of text and looks at the contexts in which they are produced. So there are 2 options in group 1, the literature course and the language and literature course. For group 2, for language acquisition, we have 2 levels here, and the levels are important to take note of. We have language B courses, which are intended for students that have a number of years experience with the language already. And then we have language ab initio courses, which are for beginners in the language concerned. Complete and utter beginners is for the language ab initio courses. In group 3, we have a number of courses with which you will be familiar from, again, your middle years program, economics, geography, history. But here we also have social and cultural anthropology as an option as well. And we also have something called ITGS, Information Technology in a Global Society, a course looking at the social and ethical impacts of information technology in the 21st century world. So a wide range of choices in group 3. Group 4 looks fairly traditional. We have biology, chemistry, and physics, and computer science also belongs in this 4th group. Group 5, we have 2 different types of courses in mathematics. We have the analysis and approaches course, and we have the applications and interpretation course. And of course, these courses are available at higher level or standard level. At least a number of them will be available in our program, as I will explain a little later. So the analysis and approaches course is to do with patterns and understanding mathematical generalizations It's the kind of course that you would wish to study if you were going to continue with mathematics on to university level. Whereas the applications and interpretation course is more to do with the application of mathematics in other courses in the diploma and elsewhere. Still a rigorous course, but with a different approach, a slightly different direction or focus. In Group 6, we have the visual arts, and we've also added this year theatre and music as two options in Group 6. And again, those of you doing the MYP, it will make sense for you to realize that from the performing arts, which many of you have chosen for your MYP studies, it makes sense that we offer courses at the diploma level that follow on from the performing arts at MYP level, and that's why we have theatre and music as brand new exciting options in Group 6 of the diploma. Some features of the diploma program as a whole are important to take into account. It's not just a case of choosing subjects or courses and putting them into a bag, so to speak. We've got to think about how all these courses fit together into an appropriate program. So first of all, if we consider the balance that is necessary in your diploma studies, it's important that you study a range of courses from different groups. So you can't focus on all of the sciences and drop all the languages. You can't focus on all the arts and drop all the humanities. All of these things have to be taken in balance, and that's why the subject groups exist in the diploma program. Secondly, you have the option to specialize as well. It's possible to take 2 science subjects. It's also possible to take 2 subjects from the individuals and societies group as well. So you may want to think about the specialization of your program by taking advantage of the opportunity to take 2 courses within the same group. And thirdly, we have depth as well, because out of the 6 courses that you're going to choose, 3 of them need to be at higher level. So you're studying them in more depth. So we have balance across the different subject groups. We have specialization in choosing 2 subjects from some of the groups. And we have depth where you're studying your higher level courses and you're choosing what would be the best place to study those high level courses, which groups to choose. How do we achieve these things? Well, first of all, we have to look at the first 5 groups. Everyone must take a course from groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's language and literature, language acquisition, individuals and societies, sciences, and mathematics. Okay. So having chosen 5 courses from each of those groups, you have the option of picking a 6th subject from either the sciences group, as I've tried to illustrate here with the courses which I've called A, B, C, D, E, and F, or you could choose 2 courses from group 3, from the individuals and societies group. And again, you see the 6 courses represented by letters here, A, B, then 2 courses in group 3, C and D, and then a science, and then mathematics. Or you could have this configuration here, where your 6th subject comes from group 6. In other words, you would pick one of the arts subjects as your 6th course. And so in that case, the 6 courses would be evenly distributed across all of the 6 groups, A, B, C, D, E, and F, as they are written here. Then we look at depth as well, and there are many different options here. For example, you might choose your 3 higher level subjects from groups 1 and 3. That might be something like English and economics and history, for example. And you can see the kind of flavor of diploma you get from those choices. Or alternatively, if you're highly focused on mathematics and sciences, you might choose your higher level courses from groups 4 and 5 there, and make up the rest of your diploma with standard level courses in groups 1 to 3. Or another option would be, again, in keeping with the last slide, that your 3rd higher level course could come from group 6. So you might choose something like Swahili B at higher level if you're from Kenya, and then maybe higher level geography in group 3, and then maybe higher level theater or music or visual arts in group 6. So there are many different combinations of higher level courses that you could choose. These are all the courses which we may offer next year in our diploma program, arranged into the 6 groups. And this information will be up on the portal on the website, as I will explain shortly. So if we look at some of the alternatives, here's one program which a student might choose. And you can see here, for example, this is your science and mathematics student who's chosen biology higher level, chemistry higher level, mathematics analysis higher level, and made up the rest of their program with standard levels in groups 1, 2, and 3. An alternative would be this student's combination, where we see English literature higher level, anthropology higher level, economics higher level, and then the others made up from standard levels. So a very different focus for this student. Here's a third opportunity here, where you see geography, biology, and theater higher levels. That's for a student perhaps who has wide interests and hasn't decided exactly what they're going to do in the future. They may want to keep a range of options open at higher level from different groups. And here finally is another option here. This is Swahili A literature. So this must be a student from Tanzania who's offering that, then offers English B as a second language, and then you can see the other combination of courses there. So there are many possibilities, but it's important to think about the choices in a logical and coherent way. A few things to avoid. Spanish ab initio will not be allowed if you have any prior knowledge of Spanish. Spanish is for beginners in this course. If you have any previous knowledge of Spanish, you won't be allowed to take that course. Mathematics standard level applications and interpretation is not a good combination with physics higher level. It's also not a good combination with computer science higher level as well. Both those courses, physics and computer science higher level, require a better, or a higher, I should say, mathematical background than the applications and interpretation course can provide. So please bear that in mind and don't choose those combinations. We also don't want you to pick ITGS and computer science together in the same program. There are a number of guiding documents that will help you make choices here. There's the Diploma Program Handbook, a new version which has just been produced. There is the Course Transitions, Guidance for Minimum Expectations into Entry for each Diploma Program course, which we've provided so that you can see how well you should be performing in your MYP courses in order to get into DP courses. And then there are the menus, which you'll find on the portal as well. The DP handbook looks like this. Here are some pages taken from it. It's got information about the program, the curriculum, the assessment. And also you'll find up on the website, you'll find the guidance document that suggests what the minimum requirements should be for each of the courses in the diploma that we offer. And you can look at that in your own time. Here are the set of menus that we're going to use this year. And what we want you to do is to try to choose a combination of courses that fits as close as possible to one of these lettered menus here. And the reason why we want you to do that is so that we can do our best to timetable all of the different choices that students are likely to make. So the closer your set of choices is to one of these particular menus, the better the opportunity will be for it to be timetabled successfully. Up on the portal, the website, the web page is shown at the top here. Go to DP course selection process, and when you click on that, you'll be asked for some information about your name and your email and so on. Please fill that in. And then you go to the page where you actually choose your courses, and you can see them all there next to the menus themselves. That's the end of this video with all of the information that you need. However, please don't hesitate to contact me for further clarification about any of the matters that you've heard in this presentation today. Thank you very much.